Hi, my name is Matt Grosse. I'm the superintendent in Deer River, Minnesota, right down the road from Grand Rapids. And so I'm representing the school district of Deer River. I'm also the chair of the Itasca Area Schools Collaborative, which is a collaborative of 7 school districts in our area that do share some fiber. And also Itasca Community College. And we do a lot of collaboration together. I'm also advocating for rural school districts because we are the benefactor of some choices and business decisions that Paul Bunyan has made that aren't affecting some of the other rural communities and school districts. Perfect segue into what education is faced up against, and so I'm going to talk about that interest, our need and requirement to produce knowledge workers. And it used to be enough for schools on the range to produce workers that, if all else fails, could work in the mines and work at the resort, and that's not the case anymore. There's a huge allegiance of our students to work in this area. They want to live here and they want to work here. And it's our job as school systems, it's our obligation to produce kids that can come back here and have meaningful employment. And in order to do that, we have to have the infrastructure for the business community. So business development, economic development, education couldn't be more linked, and I know you know that. In regards to access, school districts have to change our paradigm. 30 students with a teacher in a sit and get environment isn't going to work anymore. And I would encourage you, and Commissioner McElroy and I spoke last night about a book called Disrupting Class. I would encourage you to read that if you haven't. One of the key themes of that book is the requirement for us, if we're going to produce knowledge workers that are going to compete globally, is that we can educate those kids individually. So that if a student needs to learn how to read and write, they're not doing it in a broad context the same as every other 29 students. They're doing it in a way that's meaningful to them. They can make meaning out of the rigorous environment that they're in. And so we need to individualize instruction, and that has enormous technological requirements. The other piece in regards to access is affordability, and I know that's been mentioned. I have people in my district that every month they're choosing between paying groceries, buying groceries, and paying a phone bill. And I could argue that those people, more than anybody else, need access to high quality broadband. Some of those same people are sitting, or those children are sitting on a bus for an hour and a half one way. In many areas of the state that would be unacceptable. In our area of the state, where we're averaging less than 2 kids per square mile in some places or less, that's a reality. And there's no way to bridge that gap. And so those students have a 3-hour commitment to education that's riding in a bus. And if we're going to make that time meaningful for them, it needs to look different. And as a superintendent, as an educator who's trying to look towards the future, if that student's going to invest 30% more time to education, I would just assume it'd be meaningful and not butt time, so to speak. I need to be able to push education to them and not have them even be in my building maybe 3 days a week. I need to be able to push high quality, technology-rich education to their house. And we can worry about what their home environment looks like, what resources they have at home, but I think that if we can engage students at a young enough age, education will be meaningful and relevant to them, and they'll engage with it. In a school setting, besides distance education, I need to be able to provide a technology-rich environment, access to Web 2.0 tools that are going to encourage communication capabilities that we don't have right now. I'm pushing a project right now in our community schools where students from Greenway and Nashwauk and Deer River and Hill City and whoever would want to participate, students would be working on a project together, not just commenting on each other's work on a dialogue on the internet, but actually combining work on a project, having never met face to face. That's real work. It's work that you're seeing in your business environment, collaborative work, and we need to be able to mirror that work if we're going to produce these knowledge workers. School districts, because of our accountability requirements that we welcome, are also stepping up our need to invest in data-driven decision-making opportunities. And the collaborative schools here have recently made a decision to invest in a enterprise-level data warehouse, where on any given day I could tell you at what time, on what day, in what location of my school is my greatest security risk. And I can do the same thing with assessment data and classroom information. That's data, or access to data, that school districts haven't taken advantage of or explored before, and we need to do that if we're going to get to that point where we're talking about 100% proficiency in school and kids ready to compete globally. Lastly, we also need to be able to access high-quality staff development for our teachers. My teacher in Deer River needs to be able to have the most cutting-edge training that's available, and that can't be hindered by the fact that we're hundreds and hundreds of miles from a metropolitan area. I need the same access to high-quality teacher education as anywhere in the state or anywhere in the nation or anywhere in the world. Thank you very much.